Laundry in the washer that I need to put in the dryer.
I hadn't eaten yet, and it was like 2:30 in the afternoon. And I was like, I'm probably
You
just
hadn't eaten yet? Yeah, I would be passing out.
yeah.
So,
I don't quite pass out, but I get to the point where it's like my brain stops working the way it should.
I
So
understand. No, the last time, actually, it was just last week, I guess, that happened to me when I realized it was close to 3 o'clock and all I'd had all day is coffee.
yeah,
But coffee will keep you going. Um,
right.
but yeah, because because I've been trying to lose weight for the last year and a half, or really year and a half, basically. I just have coffee in the morning and then I have lunch and then I
Mm,
have dinner, but I don't have breakfast. Coffee
right.
is my breakfast. And it's got oat milk and sugar in it, but it's still, and yeah. But when it's time to eat lunch, I know it.
Yeah,
So,
right. All right. Well, welcome. This is 48-hour art check, and this is round 271. So yeah, so we'll do a quick one today. Um, so what have you gotten done in the last little bit?
I have been working and working on this one painting that just, I can't get it to look right.
Mm,
Um, I might actually show it to you. I've already posted it on Instagram, but I made it clear that it's not finished yet.
yeah,
Um, but one of the problems I'm having with it is it's looking too Hallmark, too Thomas Kincaid, too, not that I have any problem with either Hallmark. Well, don't get me started on Thomas Kincaid. I have my issues with Thomas Kincaid. Um, but it looks a little too contrived, I guess, is the way I would describe it.
uh,
But I don't know how to fix it. And not that my work is ever especially edgy. It's not. But I don't know if I should share my screen or if I
sure.
should. All right, I can share my screen. And then I would figure out which screen. Uh, I'm trying, but it's, oh, for goodness sake. That's not what I want to do. Sorry. I'm going to try again. Share. Chrome doesn't want me to share my screen.
It might be a setting.
Obviously. Okay.
So I think there's
Preferences
Max.
here.
I think Macintosh shuts screen sharing down unless you go into the settings and open it up.
Okay. Follow these steps.
While you're
Oh,
doing
for
that,
heaven's sakes. Okay. Yeah.
that's
Why
it.
don't you talk while I go into.
While you're doing that, I'll do this. So I finished this animation, and so that's everything there. I'm just going to skip through it so I don't spoil anything. But had my buddy Mark do the voiceover for it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so it's pretty fun. I like how it turned out. I especially like, I don't know why I enjoy this so much, but I like the lower third C-span that I made, because I based it off of C-span's actual lower thirds, but then I tried to make it like a little bit edgier because the C-span has become just watching robots fight each other. So I thought that was kind of fun. But so that's done. I haven't put it up yet, but I'll be putting that up on Instagram a little bit later this afternoon.
Okay. I want to come back so I can see, I didn't get to see that, but because we're within Chrome right now, and it says I can't do that until I quit out of Chrome. I changed the settings,
Oh, okay.
and so if I quit out of Chrome, I'll go away. I guess I can
Yeah.
come back.
So I can hang tight, or we can just share your screen the next week, and we can
Oh,
just talk
that's
about it
fine. That's fine.
however you want to do it.
Doesn't matter. It's very strange. No, I'll show it. I'll show it next week. It's maybe I'll have it finished by next week. I better have it finished by next week. I'm going to stop working on it, but anyway, it's that's all I've been working on, and it's I need to work on something else because I've gotten pretty much stuck. It's almost finished, but
Yeah.
and I'm going to work on several other paintings that are this close to being finished, and hopefully they will look better to me now. But anyway, other than that, and the painting that I just worked on, it's a fox sleeping in the snow, so I'm going to do a little animation with the snow coming down, just to be, because that'll be fun, and that'll be so easy in After Effects. It's ridiculous, but it'll still look kind of cute, kind of cool, and appropriate to the season. So
yeah, and stuff like that I feel like does really well. You just take your thing and just make it move just a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Other than that, I'm working on some end of year stuff. There's this one gallery I'm involved with that I want to send them what they want to know, what my best work was this year, and I'm going to share that with them, and just moving along, I guess.
Cool.
It's like I said, it's been a quiet week.
Yeah,
a blessedly quiet week, actually.
So challenges. I'll go first on challenges. Just kind of the weirdness of the semester ending in a weird semester where we're in pandemic lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm teaching 2 capstone classes that are two 400 level classes. And those are always really stressful to teach because it's everybody who's trying to graduate in the program.
Oh dear.
And so they're all
stressed anyway.
They're stressed and emotionally charged, and but it's a high level class with lots of rigor. And so, they're trying to get out while you're trying to get them to do good work. Anyway, so that sounds like a weird challenge, but just mentally is kind of exhausting. With all that. And then, I had to play electrician this week because half of the outlets in our kitchen stopped working.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and none of the circuit breakers were tripped, and all the GCFI or whatever, all those were fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this weird mystery problem that took me hours and hours and hours to figure out. So
I'm so sorry.
Home ownership, just stuff like that. But on the upside, I just wrapped up a client project and I bought a Nintendo Switch.
Cool.
And so Scarlett and I have been playing A Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which is like one of my favorites from it was 92 or something. Anyway, and it is so much fun to watch her figure it out. And I'm not really helping her. I'm just kind of giving her not strategic advice, but just like, wait for them to come to you and stuff like that. But I'm not saying
see the wheels turning, right?
And that I forget how good that game is, but it's like I would rather have her doing that than watching TV because she's like problem solving and she's like, there's puzzles and there's putting the puzzles together and it's still screen time, so she still needs to do other things. But
I understand. Yeah, I'm
excited that she's excited about it.
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for her. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I never played that game. I don't really know that much about. This is how old I am. The first computer type game of any kind that I ever played was Zork. I don't know if you even know what that is, but it was
I've heard
strictly
of it. I don't think I've ever
it
played
was
it.
strictly a text based
Oh,
game, and that was back when and there was no graphics. All the it was just all text based, but it
mhm.
was still pretty fun. And I would get. I remember back when my in laws first got their first computer, and this would be on the weekends. And I'm not a football fan, but Brian, my husband's parents, and my husband will be watching football, and I would go into the office and play Zork for
That's
hours
awesome.
and
That's
hours.
awesome.
And one of the coolest things about that is, without even realizing it, um, it improved my typing skills. So I was able to type even faster.
Yeah.
So, which at the who knew that we would all need to be able to type fast? That tells you how old I am. But and that it was so much fun. I would love to find an emulator for it because I still think it would be fun. But
Oh, I imagine they're out there.
I've looked for them. I haven't found anything
Oh,
that
interesting.
was worth messing with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could easily get caught up in. I don't. We don't have any game consoles other than the Wii, and that was mostly for exercise.
Mhm.
But I could easily get caught up in a game on my computer, which is why I'm real careful not to download anything onto my computer because I could seriously, I could see myself getting lost in a virtual world and
Mhm.
you know stop just living on coffee and yeah, I could get caught up in a world like that, especially now, considering how
Yeah.
scary the real world is. So,
Yeah.
but challenges this week. The biggest challenge for me is because I mentioned last week that I just got a new computer, and then I also downloaded new software, and learning the new software, even though it's the software I've been using for years and years and years, they changed it on me again. And also, like I had no idea how many brushes in my digital painting that I had just depended on it. I didn't realize
Oh,
how many palettes I'd set up because they were just sitting there.
right.
And I had to go back into my old computer and export those palettes because I've got custom brushes and I
Yeah.
don't remember what the settings are. And
Right.
I'm going in and trying to go, oh, and then I had a whole bunch of actions set up on Photoshop
Mhm.
and I forgot about them. I just thought they were just, I didn't even realize that I had created them. I just assumed that they were default actions that came, but they weren't. I created them
Mm.
and it's been
Right.
so long. And so I'm going into the actions and I'm typing the hotkeys to do the action. I'm like, nothing's happening. And then I go into the actions and not only do I not have the hotkeys, the action's not even there. So I have to
Yeah.
go back into, and I don't know. I don't even know if actions can be saved in your Adobe library. I don't know.
I feel like they should be, but I don't know either. I don't know if
I
I've
don't,
ever tried to do
I
that.
don't know. And if I wanted to, I could probably spend this next several days uh, relearning and learning a whole bunch of Adobe stuff.
Oh,
And
sure.
it's a constant, you're constantly having to keep learning. I'm
Yeah,
actually,
it's one of those balances. I know people
mhm.
that never make anything, but they're totally up to date on all the newest software.
Ugh.
And I know other people that are still working on like CS1,
Oh my gosh.
because
Yeah.
they're fine. I know how to use this one, and I'm going to make my thing until. I mean,
Right.
I've got a buddy Jim Lujan who is still working on I don't know what year it is, but a super old copy of Macromedia Flash for his animations.
Oh my gosh.
and
Wow.
and his computer is starting to die a little bit, and he's like, I think this
What
is
am
the
I?
end. I might have to
Oh
learn
my God.
After Effects.
Oh my gosh.
And I was
But
like, oh, That's terrible because he's so fast because he got it dialed in, and if only the
Yeah.
hardware would stick around and last.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'll be honest with you, I used to be really fast in Illustrator,
Hmm.
really fast. I am so not fast in Illustrator anymore when I have to do anything. And I was never fast in InDesign, but by the time our office moved in from Quark Express to InDesign, I wasn't really working in print design anymore. I was in video. So it
Yeah.
didn't really matter that. But even now, when I have to do anything in InDesign, I'm like, oh God, what do I have to do here? I'm like, okay, it's very frustrating. But
So I teach this stuff,
mhm.
and very literally this morning in class, people were like, "How do you set up the automatic page numbering things in InDesign?" And I was like, "Let's go look on the internet." I don't
I
remember.
know.
It's been 8 years since I had to do pagination on a
Yeah.
multiple page book.
You have to go in, I think you have to go into the master and then type in the little, or at least it used to be, you went into the master, then created there was a little code that you put in or something. I don't remember.
Yeah. So
But
now what it is for anybody who's interested is you create a text box on the master page, and then and then with that text box selected, it's like 4 menus deep. You go to like type, insert special characters,
right,
marker,
right.
page number, or something like that. It's like
I
it's
remember it was special character. I remember that. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Yeah,
And the
that's
cool
exactly what I would have to do.
yeah, it's like well, because even when I was doing that, I would set it up once. It's not like one of
Mhm.
those things that you do every day. And so anything where it's like, I know that I did that one time 2 years ago, but now that I have my setup, I don't have to go do it again. Kind of like your actions, like you forgot that you
Right,
set those
right.
up because they just do it. I have this. It's not gonna. There we go. I have this guy, and I have
You,
this programmed with macros, and
right.
so like I've forgotten some of the keystrokes because I just have a button over here that I push, and
I
it'll
understand.
have
Yeah.
a series of them. So yeah.
I was just thinking of, well, this is going off topic a little bit, but it's the same sort of thing. I have some of my password. Well, I have a bunch of passwords set up in a password manager, but there is a password to get into the password manager.
Yes.
And if I wanted to, I could set it up as Touch ID and
Right.
just use my fingerprint, but I don't, because if I ever forget that password, I am so screwed. So I make a point of not doing that, because if
Oh
I
man.
ever got to a point where I forgot that password to get into my password manager, I would be so messed up. And
No, that happened to me.
oh wow,
It's about 4 months ago. We're like right in the smack dab middle of the pandemic, and I do use my thumbprint, but then something happened to my phone or something where the password app was like, you can't use your thumbprint until you put in your password. And I was like, oh, no problem, I'll do that. So then I went to do it, and I was like, it has been months since and it's a long, complicated
yeah,
password with like symbols in it and stuff. And so then I was like, with my wife, I was like, what is it? And we're like, I remember vaguely what the sentence is supposed to be about. And it,
oh
it
my
took us,
gosh,
it took, and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to spend the next 3 days
oh
resetting
no,
all passwords, because I can't. And then anyway, and then all of a sudden, after we had stepped away from it, Malia, like, she's like, I know what it is. And then she said it out loud. And we just had to get the case sensitivity correct. And then anyway. So yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that's I don't know. I think it's way more secure to do that type of thing. But yeah, if you lose that password, they make sure that you can't recover it, because that's the whole point.
that is the whole point. Yeah, I also worry all the time about something happening to my phone, because there's so many things that, especially if you have any, what is it called? what is it? Something double
Oh,
authentication or
right. Yeah.
something like. If you have anything set up like that, you have to use your phone for everything. And
Yeah.
if you don't have your phone, you are so, yeah. I don't like it that I'm so dependent on my phone, but I don't know how to get around it. So
I don't like it either, but I am terrified of having my identity stolen or having
I
somebody get into
understand.
my bank account or whatever. So yeah, I do the same thing. I've got all kinds of double authentication things.
Mhm.
None of my passwords make sense. Like they're all just gobbledygook that the password generator spits out. So there's no possible way that anybody could guess it or social hack it or whatever because I don't even know what it is.
As long as they can't get into your password manager.
If they
And
get into
then,
my password manager, then it's
and
off.
if they get into your password manager, we're all in big trouble. But
Why
yeah,
are
I
we
used
saying
to
this
use,
on
pardon?
live internet right now? If you really want to screw me over, all you have to do is get into my password manager and set
Yeah,
up
we shouldn't be talking
live.
about this. Sorry about that.
But
Let's talk about something personal instead.
right.
No.
I'm trying to be more upbeat than last week when you said I had a hard week, and then I went into like how I feel like the apocalypse is going to show up through technology.
Yeah. All
So
right.
anyway,
Well, yeah.
so that's challenges. How about plans?
Plans. I have got several, like I said, several paintings that are so close to being finished. And oh, I know one thing I can share. This is not plans. This is something that already happened. I can't remember if this had already happened last week or not. I don't think so. That commission of the young man who had passed away, that I didn't want to do it, and but I knew that it was really important to the client, and it was really important to the mother of the young man who had passed away, and so I did it, and they were both so happy. They
Oh,
were
good.
so happy. They contacted me, and they actually ended up, the mother of the young man ended up ordering another print so that I guess she could give it to the young man's girlfriend. So.
For
Oh,
those
that's
of you
funny.
listening, Frank is attempting social hacking.
That's
Uh,
funny. That's funny.
that is cool. That's really awesome because I know you were concerned about it, and also it was kind of emotionally taxing to do.
It was.
So
It
it's
was
awesome.
really
It's awesome to
hard.
get
It
good
it
feedback.
was. It's done, and they were really happy. And I'm not even going to. It's that emotional. I'm not even going to put it on Instagram. I'm not going to share
Yeah.
it. But my sister shared it. She took a photo of it and put it on Facebook. But I just told you who the client was. The client was my sister. But and she put it on Facebook, and that was her choice.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm really glad it turned out the way it did, and it was a challenge. So I'm
Yeah,
glad I did it. But
that's good.
anyway, plans. I have been talking about writing a children's book forever. So
Are you
in
gonna do it?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to
Yes.
do it. I'm going to do it.
Oh,
I
that's awesome.
have already started a couple of not so much. It's not an outline so much as kind of a treatment, kind of an idea, and then also I'm going to do some character studies. And that's going to be one of my big things I'm going to do in 2021. That's going to be one of my New Year's resolutions. So I'm going to get this thing done. It's been sitting in my head. I'm going to do it. So that's in my plans. And
Cool.
I'm excited about it, and I'm nervous. I have no idea what's going to happen. Um, I may pick our friend Allie's brain
Yeah.
on self-publishing. I may talk to Joshua too, because could we do a shout out for Joshua Campbell? Because isn't that awesome that
It is so
his
cool.
I've ordered one. I can't wait to see it. I'm
I
excited
know.
for
I'm
him.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. Yeah,
Um,
he has been working on that book forever, and it looks great.
it really does.
And
I'm really happy.
I read an early version of it a
Mhm.
while ago, and then I kind of intentionally didn't want to finish it. because I like reading it in print.
Mhm.
But I got to tell you, it is one of the most raw, authentic
Oh,
pieces.
it looks, yeah, it does
Yeah,
look. And
and if
I'm
you
I'm
look,
probably gonna have to take my time reading it and sort of,
yeah,
I may be drinking when I read it because I may have to just, but it
yeah,
looks, yeah, it looks like, it looks intense and it looks real and it looks
yeah,
amazing. And I'm really, really excited on his behalf. And I
yeah.
just had to say that. Sorry, I went
Oh,
way
yeah,
off.
and I'm so excited for him too. And there are very few pieces of literature out there that give you kind of a real glimpse at the caretaker and the struggle of a caretaker who is taking care of somebody who's struggling. And that's what that book is about. And it is just, it's his own struggles, but it's also him struggling with himself. And one of the things that I love about Josh is there are parts of that book where he looks like a monster, because he's being real. And we're all imperfect and we all make bad decisions. But in an auto bio situation, it is very tempting to gloss over your flaws, and he doesn't. And that's why I say it's so human. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of work, but it is a hard read. But
Yeah.
it's also he paces it because he has these flashbacks to his childhood, and so it's not like watching one of those movies where the whole thing you're just like, holy crap, is there a bright spot ever? Because he paces it in a really balanced way.
That's good. Um, Otherwise, I would have a hard time reading it. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it arrive in the mail. So
yeah, yeah, it's great.
anyway,
I'm
I got
excited.
way off topic.
Yeah,
Well, not really, but I had to say that. I'm just so, I don't even know him. He's your friend, but I'm very, as a fellow artist, and I'm just really happy for him and proud of him.
yeah, and I mean, getting a publishing deal couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. I mean, he works hard and does it, and so it's great. But yeah, I think talking to Josh, talking to Allie, talking to a few people, I think because I keep thinking I finished that whole children's book. It's 40 hand inked pages.
Oh, you've got to.
Have I sent it to
It's,
you?
oh, no, you haven't sent it to me.
I'll
You said
send
you
you.
would, but you'll send it to me. I remember seeing the artwork and it's so cool. It is so cool. I
Yeah,
love it.
it was fun, and it took me forever. I mean, I spent 6 months on that,
I think
and
you were working on that when we first became Facebook friends. Was that, I don't even know, were you
probably
still in school? Or was I,
no. You might have still been in school.
I graduated, I got my degree, I graduated in 2015, 5 years ago. So,
I was similar to that. We might have been similar at the same time,
mhm.
but it's the first thing I did after I graduated. So that
So I
was
think it might have been when we first became Facebook friends.
yeah.
Um, and
No,
there was actually,
I did other things. Sorry, it's not the first thing I did. I did a few other things, but it was within that year, I think. But anyway, yeah, it's a good book, and I got some good feedback and some discouraging feedback right off the gate, and then I just default to my normal thing of I'm just going to make more stuff, and I need to force myself to promote it. That's actually why in my short film last year I intentionally planned out time where I am not going to work on anything during the promotion of the short film, and so and it worked out. But that was what I had to do to get, and I didn't do that with my children's book, and so I probably just need to say, I'm not going to do anything for 2 months other than promoting this or trying to find an agent or trying to do whatever.
yeah, that's actually one of the reasons why I'm have a I'm a part of my website. They actually help you sell your work, but
Mm,
there's a lot of work involved in marketing your work, and there's
yeah,
a lot of, they give you steps to do and everything. And if I did all of that, that's all I would do. I wouldn't
right.
get to create. and that's still a problem, and that's a separate topic. But if I did all the promotion that they encouraged us to do, I wouldn't be able to create. And
I mean,
I just
there are
don't know how to.
reasons why marketing positions exist, is because it's a full-time job to do
Yeah.
marketing and PR and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I struggle probably in a different way than you do, because you actually do market your work and get it out there. You know, you could always spend too much time doing that to where you're not making anything, but I kind of just finish it and then move on. I think the only thing I've ever bothered to promote is that animation. Other than this, I mean, I do the art checks and I share it on social media and stuff, but you know, I could be doing a lot more. And I mean, it kind of came up recently, Josh, when he was coming up with a PR plan. I mean, I used to do this professionally. So,
You had mentioned that several times.
yeah, and so
I think that's so cool that you did that.
but anyway, he said let's brainstorm, and so Scott and I just talked about plans, and then I as I was talking, I was like, man, I'm not doing any of this. I mean, I was just listing like tons and tons of stuff, and Scott was coming up with good stuff, and Josh already had some ideas, and I'm just like, I haven't done a press release. I haven't reached out to any bloggers. I haven't done it anyway. So it's just the time and the focus. I'm going to be one of those people that I'm going to die, you know, years from now, and then they'll just find all of these finished projects. And they'll be like, oh, look at this guy. He was prolific. No one knew who he was.
You're getting dark again there, Corey. You had to go there.
Well, I mean, for me, that's fine because I enjoy the process of creation. I'd love for my stuff to take off. I'm not one of those people that's like, I'm not going to do it. But if I had to choose between creation and promotion, I'd choose creation every time. So so I'm happy. But yeah. Anyway, plans for me. I finished that animation, so I'll be putting that up right after this.
Yay.
And thank you. And then I am going to cut the audio for that episode that I finished back in September. It didn't work out with the way we were doing it for sound with the guy I was working with, and so I'm going to be doing that myself, at least for the time being. When I put it into the full feature film, when I assemble everything, he might be able to jump back in. But anyway, so I've got to do a bunch of audio stuff this weekend. In prep for Jim Lujan and I are going to collaborate on an animated short. And,
wow!
Yeah, it's going to be fun because he's going to write it and produce all the assets, and then I'm going to do the animation.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's going to be. I'm pretty excited about it, and he's really excited about it. And the coolest part about it, I feel like, is we are going. Yeah, it's one of his characters. I got to talk to him. I think it's probably okay, but he's got a character that's basically a street fighter that just kind of wanders around and picks fights with bullies and protects people and stuff.
So sort of a what's the word? I'm telling you, my brain, vigilante.
Yeah, bit of a vigilante. But anyway, our plan is to show the whole process publicly. So we will probably have our meetings where we're collaborating with each other on the air. And so if people want to see how the sausage is made, that's how we're going to do that short. And so he's going to show up. We're going to start, I believe, next week, and he's going to show up with a script and some storyboards, and then I will throw in my 2 cents and tell him how he needs to build the pieces for the way I want to do it, and we'll kind of collaborate on the fly. And I think we're going to do as much of that as we can live.
That is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it's an interesting series for people to watch, because I know that there are a lot of people that would like to know how to do some of that stuff. And you're going to see the good, bad, and the ugly. I mean, Jim and I are friends, and we're not going to fight, but like things are going to break or things aren't going to work correctly, or we're going to have to redo stuff, and we're not going to hide any of the flaws in the process.
I think that's going to be fantastic. That's
Yeah.
going to be, it'll be interesting, and it'll be entertaining, and it'll be, yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah,
It does.
I'm pretty excited about it. And then I think the point of doing this is so that we can shop it around. And so we'll see if there's any networks or studios or streaming services that are interested in picking it up. So,
Ooh,
yeah, so it could be
I
cool.
can say, I knew you when.
Right.
Awesome.
I knew you before you had an obscure cartoon on the internet. So that'll be fun, and I'm excited to do that. Yeah, and it'll be interesting because Jim and I, where I'm weak, he's pretty good, and where he's weak, I'm pretty good, and so it's a good kind of yin yang thing. But also,
Great compliments. Yeah,
he's way faster than I am, because our illustration styles are very different. And so it'll be interesting. And he also, like, he's the one that I was talking about where he's working on an extremely old version of Flash.
Ah,
And so,
but you're doing the animation, so that's not really an issue,
right?
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting because I think we're both going to learn a lot about the other person's process, and it'll be really eye-opening because I still don't. I think I'm pretty fast at times. I'm not the fastest all the time, but that guy, I mean, he puts out minutes of animation every week. It's insane how quick he is.
Wow.
And so I'm really interested just to see like how this works. So it's going to be great. Anyway, it'll be really good. We're going to try to be as public about it as possible, without sacrificing production time. So
you'll share a link when you start doing that. You'll share a link on your website.
Yeah, it'll probably just be on this YouTube channel, and so I'll just go live like I normally do. And I don't know if we're gonna have a schedule or if we're just gonna do a meeting whenever we have a meeting. We'll have to kind of. I think we're going to talk about that on the air on how we want to move forward, because at this point we're not even really in pre-production. We're in like pre-production where we're still figuring out workflows and stuff like that. And I think we're going to do all that live and just say, hey, here's our plan, and we have no idea how this is going to work. But I mean, I've collaborated with Scott Cirkland, and I learned a ton, and it was phenomenal. And I still love that piece that we did together. And he's such a great illustrator. He did this little robot for a client. And I love that. And then I've done it with Josh, who's got a completely different illustration style, where he illustrated a bunch of stuff, and we did this big giant street scene, with a lot of like parallax and moving cameras and things. And so it'll be fun to do it with Jim too. So, because neither Scott or Josh or I did lyrics or dialogue or anything, and Jim writes his own music and he writes his own dialogue, and so we'll have.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be great. I'm kind of excited about it. So
I understand. I'm excited for you. That's really cool.
And I'll have to get back into my balancing multiple projects at the same time, which I'm not great at.
And being a teacher and being a father and forgetting
I'm good at that, because like 8 to 5, I do my job. 5 to 7:30, I do my dad thing, and then the rest of the time, I'm usually working on a single project until it's done.
There's this thing that you may have heard of that occasionally it's helpful. It's called sleep.
I do that usually from 3 a.m. to 7 a.m. is typically where I'm sleeping. So it's scheduled in there.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I get enough sleep that I probably will go nuts when I'm older, but right now I can move forward each day. So I've read about like sleep debt and stuff like that, and I think I'm like at the level of like sleep debt that I'm in like sleep bankruptcy. So I don't know if there's like some sort of sleep chapter 11 that I can.
Chapter 11, maybe there is. Yeah, it's funny. I
don't know.
Now that I am working, and I have been working from home for a good long while now, I am surprised. I think I must be making up for all the sleep that because my husband gets up pretty early,
Mhm.
but we tend to we walk the dog at 9, and we go to 9:30, 10. We're asleep, and
Yeah.
but then I don't. My husband gets up around 6, but I don't get up until 7. So I'm actually getting more sleep than I've probably gotten since I was a little kid,
That's
or
awesome.
even then. And I don't know if I can go back if I were in a position. But I mean, when we went down to when we traveled down to Hilton Head for Thanksgiving, we had to get up very early in order to do the whole drive. It's a long drive, and we had to do it in one day because we were not going to stay in a hotel. It was just
Yeah.
we were not going to do that, and it was too dangerous. So, and we wanted to be on the road by 6, and I was able to wake up and do that. But if I had to do that every day, I mean, I used to do it,
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's because I've gotten older or because I've gotten spoiled. But now
I adapt. I
yeah.
adapt because I used to have a commute, like a 45-minute commute, and so I'd get up and get ready and then drive, and I'd always be on time. But yeah, now this year I'm not commuting. I'm walking downstairs. So
Right.
so I wake up. I wake up 20 minutes before class starts.
Yeah.
Head downstairs, get dressed from the waist up.
Yeah. Back when, yeah. Now I remember back when my one of my husband's colleagues, when he was working at home for a while, and this was back when people didn't work from home that often. It certainly was long before the pandemic, but he used to tease his colleagues because he'd go into his office and basically hit a button on this computer. That was my commute.
Right.
Boom.
Yeah. Oh man.
But
So anyway,
yeah.
I don't know, but I probably pushing it a little bit. Not probably, because
Yeah.
last week I laid down for a quick nap with my contacts in, still fully clothed. I was like, I'm just going to take a quick nap, and I ended up sleeping for like 14 and a half hours.
You mentioned that last week, and I remember
I was
thinking,
like,
yeah.
okay, maybe my body's trying to tell me something.
I have this image of like from the movie Inside Out, where all the little characters represent different emotions. I don't know if you saw that movie. It was a great movie, but it's a great movie. But I have this image of them all in Corey world. Oh, he went to sleep. Let's take advantage of it and just keep him asleep for a while.
Right. Yeah. I can imagine that. Because I don't know. I set my alarm and everything. I don't know what happened. The likelihood of my wife coming in and turning my alarm off because she knows me really well and letting me sleep is pretty high. So maybe that happened. So I don't know.
I understand.
But yeah.
Oh, anyway. Well, cool.
Yeah, we said we're gonna do a short one. We got pizza and Mandalorian.
Indeed. There's pizza crust waiting for me to spread out on the pizza stone, and Mandalorian, and we got to watch Jeopardy first.
Yeah,
we're true Jeopardy geeks, and that Mandalorian.
I've got a date with an 11-year-old and a link to the past. So
please tell her I said hello, and I swear we're going to meet someday.
Oh
we
yeah.
Are. Yeah, we're going to meet.
I'll tell you what. You guys are going to be in Colorado at some point, and we're just a few hours north of there, longer than that. But we'll on a nice summer's day, we'll get out the kayaks and go take some pictures of moose. And
sounds perfect. I would love it so much. I would love it. All right, you have a good week. We'll see you.
You too.
Oh, are we going to do that whole where can we find you? Whatever.
So where can we find your stuff, your paintings?
You can go to book. I have like 4 different URLs. KathyMooreWilson.com, and I think KathyMooreWilsonFineArt.com, and PendragonArtStudios.com is the name of my Pendragon Art Studios, the name of my business. So PendragonArtStudios.com, but if you type in either of those, I'll show up. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and I have a website. And cool. That's
Cool.
it.
You can find my stuff at CoreyKerr.com. And if you go to CoreyKerr.com/online, you will see all the different places that you can go to do stuff. So you'll have the Instagram and YouTube and all that. So I'll be putting this animation that I did up on Instagram.
Cool.
What time is it? I will have that up before, within 60 minutes of now. So if you're watching this live, go check that.
It'll be before Jeopardy comes on.
Okay,
So
we'll try it. If it's not up before Jeopardy came on, then I'm battling Gammon or somebody. So,
All right.
okay, you guys are awesome. Thanks for watching. And I forgot to mention we had Frank and Scott and Ronnie in the chat, so it was fun to see you guys. And have fun. Go make something. Have a good weekend.